there, and welcome. If you're looking to catch Radio Romania International's English broadcasts on shortwave, you've come to the right place. This is your go-to guide for their entire winter 2025-2026 season. So, let's get right to it. We're going to give you everything you need to dial in that signal no matter where you are in the world. You know, RRI has a fantastic mix of news, culture, and music. So go ahead, grab your receiver, and let's get you set up. Okay, first things first. To make any sense of these shortwave schedules, we've got to be on the same page with two really key terms. Let's just knock them out real quick so these tables make perfect sense. So first up is UTC. Think of it as the master clock for the entire world of radio. It doesn't matter what your local time is, or if you have daylight saving, UTC is always the same. It's the one constant that lets a listener in Japan and a listener in Canada tune in to the same broadcast. You just have to convert it to your local time. And here is the other half of the puzzle, kilohertz or kilohertz. This is, well, it's basically the address for the broadcast on your radio dial. When you see a number like 9,620 kilohertz, that is the exact spot you need to tune to. So remember, UTC tells you when to listen, and kilohertz tells you where to listen. Simple as that. All right, now that we've got the basics down, let's dive into the actual schedules. We're going to kick things off with listeners in Europe and Africa. So if that's you, this next part is for you. First up, Western Europe. You've got a ton of options here, which is great. There's an early morning broadcast at 0630 UTC, a good one at midday, and a couple in the evening. Now, you might notice that 1800 UTC broadcast says DRM next to it. Hang on to that thought. We're going to talk about what that means in just a little bit. Okay, now let's turn our attention to all our listeners across the continent of Africa. For Africa, you've got a really strong midday broadcast at 12 UTC on 21,470 kilohertz. That's a nice high frequency, which is absolutely perfect for pushing a clear signal over long distances during the day. All right, time to cross some oceans. Let's head over to the Americas and then swing all the way around to Asia. This one's for everyone on the east coast of North America, from the Canadian Maritimes all the way down to Florida. These are your times. You get two fantastic evening listening opportunities. The first is at 2130 UTC on 7,250 kilohertz, and then you've got another shot later on at 0100 UTC on 7,325 kilohertz. Both of those are just prime time for some good DXing. Okay, moving on west, let's take a look at the broadcast aimed at the West Coast. This one is timed just right for the best possible reception in your area. For all of you on the Pacific side, your dedicated broadcast is at 04 UTC. Now, I know that sounds super early, but remember, that should land right in your local evening, making it really convenient. You'll find that one on 7,220 kilohertz. All right, let's hop across the Pacific now and check out the schedule for Japan. For listeners in Japan, there's a targeted broadcast for you at 2300 UTC on 9,620 kilohertz. That's a great late-night listening opportunity right there. And for our last stop on this world tour, we have two different targeted beams for our listeners in India. So there are two specific broadcasts here, one for the New Delhi area and another for Mumbai. And, hey, you'll probably notice that both of these are listed as DRM, or digital transmissions. So that kind of begs the question, what is DRM? Yeah, we've seen that little DRM tag pop up a couple of times now. You're probably wondering what in the world that is, so let's take just a second and clear that up. It's a really good question, actually, because this technology is a huge part of the future of shortwave. Let's break down what it's all about. DRM stands for Digital Radio Mondiale, and put simply, it's digital radio for the shortwave bands. The biggest payoff for you, the listener, is the sound. It's crystal clear, FM-like quality. That means almost no static, no fading, just pure audio. Now, the catch? You'll probably need a special radio, one that can decode DRM signals, to actually hear it. And that right there covers the whole schedule. Before we wrap things up, let's just do a super quick recap of how you can put all this information to good use. Look, it really just boils down to this simple three-step process. First, find your part of the world in this guide. Second, jot down the UTC time and the frequency in kilohertz. And then third, the fun part. Convert the time, tune up your radio, and enjoy everything Radio Romania International has to offer. It's really that easy. And that's all for this shortwave guide. I really hope this helps you find the signal and maybe discover some amazing international broadcasting. Happy listening and 73 to everyone. Thanks so much for joining me.